This morning, we're going to head over to LeTourneau Prosthetics and talk with Tom LeTourneau. He joins us live this morning. Hi, Tom. How are you this morning?
You know, I'm perfect.
Well, it's nice to have you with us. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier this morning. I mean, prosthetics is one of those things you never think about, you would never talk about until suddenly you need it or somebody in your life needs it. And the advances that we've made over the last 20 years, I think would astound most people, don't you?
I think, well, not only is it astounding, it's long term. You have to understand that most people don't even think of prosthetics until they need it. However, with the recent technology and the recent advent of press and newscasts, television shows, movies, people are becoming more and more familiar with prosthetics. Now, you know, it's not only prosthetics that we do, it's also orthotics, which is basically braces, but we also do a full line of diabetic shoes and breast mastectomy products, and I'd like to show some of those to you today.
Yeah, I wish you would, and also the mention of the fact that you've been in business for quite some time here in Southeast Texas, haven't you?
1989 is when we first established orthotics and prosthetics, at least that I was doing here in Southeast Texas. And of course, we've been on various television programs and newspapers, magazines. We've been on the History Channel, Family Circle magazine. So we've been out there for a while.
So with that in mind, to you, what is the most significant advance in the last 20 years?
Well, that's easy. I can even show it to you over my shoulder.
Well, let's do it.
On the right side over here, you'll see some tools I used a long time ago for pulling wooden legs. These tools were actually developed to go inside of a wooden leg and then shape it and pull it like this. So that's how individual. Oops. Well, there we go. That was a good little piece.
Good thing it's old technology, huh, Tom?
We almost dropped on the microprocessor. So. Those tools were actually used up until early 1990s for most orthotic and prosthetic firms. Now the tool we use is over on my left shoulder. It's a computer, and we can design and make a prosthesis just by pressing a button. As you can see, we can make any changes we want into it, modify it in any form and fashion. And those are done instantaneously. And today we have some of our patients who happen to have utilized those new tools along with their microprocessors, and we have the advent of one individual who has a dual microprocessor, the first person in the world ever to have that, and Mr. Smith right over there from Liberty.
And so what does that mean, Tom? I mean, to the layperson, when you say dual microprocessors?
Well, you have a microprocessor with artificial intelligence in the knee. It's kind of the $6 million man theory. And he also has a microprocessor that actually reads how much volume he has in his leg and actually supports his leg on. So it holds his leg on and actually reads in all the volume mass that's inside the leg. He also is the advent of the T-evolution brimless socket, which means that he no longer has to have the problems that most above-knee amputees have.
Now, I mean, so the computer chip acts how? It tells the leg how to react based on the weight and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. And not only that, it tells it how to react based on his activity, his grounds where he's standing, where he's walking, the type of work he's doing. Basically, it is his artificial intelligence.
And I mean, if we talk to these various patients, I mean, have they gone through the process to the point that they appreciate the difference?
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, you could talk to them right now, and they could tell you exactly the difference between day and night. They are actually, when they walk, they don't have to think about the process anymore. It just walks for them.
That's got to be huge, because you and I both know, because we've done this story. I've done this story with you before 10, 15 years ago. The idea that it was a thought process. I mean, you had to move the prosthetic. Now it takes care of itself.
And you know, only 3% of prosthetic firms in the United States today use a computer-aided design format. Actually, have in-house computer-aided design. And of that 3%, there are very, very few that actually do microprocessors, and we're probably one of the top in the world in the microprocessor technology.
Why is that, Tom? I mean, is it the cost that prohibits most people from doing that?
It's cost involved for the technology. We also have a gate analysis laboratory, the only gate analysis laboratory between here and Duke University. It's a microprocessor gate analysis laboratory. That is also a cost involved that we don't get the money back. I mean, it's one of those services that we provide for our patients.
All right, Tom, stand by. We're going to take a break. We'll come back to you in a few minutes. Hopefully get some demonstrations of what we've been talking about. Again, prosthetics, it's not one of those things people want to talk about or think about until it's needed, and then you'll be glad that there are people who are out there working on it. Hang on, Tom. We'll come back to you as we shift to the CW. Again, Tom LeTourneau at LeTourneau Prosthetics. They're located on Calder in Beaumont. We'll talk some more about exactly some of that technology and what they do. About 7 minutes away from the top of the hour, and of course we're going to be flipping to the CW here in a few minutes. Stay with us for that. But up next, a recap of the day's forecast. It's about 18 minutes now, past the hour 7 o'clock. We're glad you've made the jump with us over to the CW this morning. If you were watching last hour when we were talking with Tom LeTourneau, you understood that his business has been here in Southeast Texas doing prosthetic work, among other things, and some of the advances that are going on at his business. It's located on Calder in Beaumont. Could be you've driven by, seen the sign, and wondered, gee, I wonder what goes on inside there. Well, this morning, hopefully we're giving you a bit of a peek inside the building. Tom, good morning again.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good, and I want to get back to this idea of what makes your business groundbreaking, and I want to talk about prosthetics, but before we do that, talk a little bit about orthotics and what difference that can make in a person's life.
Thank you. I will.